In more than 4 years, the automaker CEO seeming to break ranks with much of corporate America right now, delivering some harsh words about President Trump's tariff plans. Our Phil LeBeau's got the very latest. Phil.
And Melissa, Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, said yesterday at an investor conference that he would be in Washington today to convey his thoughts to the Trump administration. We have reached out to find out if he's actually meeting with the president or simply the president's staff. But one way or the other, the message will be similar to what he said yesterday. And this is the quote that got a lot of attention in regards to a question about the impact or potential impact of tariffs if they were implemented. And he wrote, so far, what we're seeing is a lot of cost and a lot of chaos. The chaos is because Ford, like GM and Stellantis, have a lot of exposure in terms of manufacturing in Mexico. And even though the 25% tariff that was initially announced with Mexico and Canada has been put on hold, Ford has got to make its contingency plans, even though it has more of domestic manufacturing than its rivals. It still has to prepare for what might happen. As you take a look at shares of GM, Ford, and Stellantis since the president was inaugurated, the big question is, how much will they potentially pay, both in terms of future tariffs? What's the impact in terms of their components? And look at what's going on when you talk about steel and aluminum and 25% tariffs. We reached out to Alex Partners, automotive consulting firm. We said, what's the potential impact of a 25% tariff? And they've gamed it out at $400 to $500 cost increase per vehicle, because each vehicle has between 2,500 and 3,000 pounds of aluminum and steel in each vehicle. So that's why automakers like Ford, and I've talked to Jim Farley about this, as much as possible, they are trying to go with domestic sourcing. Quickly take a look at shares of AutoNation. One other note. They had their earnings yesterday, and during the analyst call, they basically said, look, there is the potential here that you could see 1 to 2 years of tariff pain for consumers, depending on what happens with tariffs, if they're implemented, et cetera. And that's based on what they saw the first time around back in 2016 to 2020 in terms of potential impact there. So Jim Farley's message to Washington and potentially to President Trump is, we need certainty. And all CEOs will tell you right now, Melissa, they want certainty. And you and I both know, everybody knows, as you watch the president, this is as much about negotiation as anything else. And I'm not sure they're going to get the certainty they're looking for.
What is the impact on some of the foreign manufacturers, particularly the ones that also manufacture here in the United States?
Depends on what tariff is put in place. Let's talk about if there is a reciprocal tariff coming for vehicles being shipped over from Europe to here. It's about 5% of the U.S. auto sales, though we were told today, Eamon Javers said that the White House indicated there may be exceptions for the auto industry. What type of exceptions? Unclear at this point in terms of the reciprocal tariff. So that's the key, Melissa. You need to know exactly which ones are being put in place. The steel and aluminum, I mean, that's a hit to the automakers. Even if you're doing your domestic sourcing as much as possible, you're still going to pay. And I've talked with executives in the auto industry who said they're paying. They will pay in some fashion. Now, is it $400 to $500 for every vehicle? It's a little too soon to tell.